All right, we're talking flash photography. But before we get into that, I do have to give this to Caleb because someone is getting married.
Do I open it now?
Yes, because we're going to have to wear it for the video.
Wait, how am I going to wear this?
Dear Caleb, your wedding day is forthcoming and you will require class, elegance, sophistication, and most importantly, hydration. May this humble gift deliver on that multifaceted, multitudinous ask. All the best. Don't be creeped out that it was in my pants.
What is it? Wait, what is
This is a topo necklace.
Oh my God, a topo necklace?
It's actually a necktie, so you can drink your topo through your necktie.
Oh, what?
Or your beer, if you so choose.
Is it working? Oh my God.
The tips on that?
Is it working? Oh my God, amazing. Yay! Yay! Intros for the crew that is with us here today. Let's start down here.
Gabe Sachs.
What are you shooting?
I am shooting a Rolleiflex 2.82. And I have somehow collected too many cameras because late night on eBay is a bad thing.
And we are going to just make you answer the question, how many cameras are we talking about?
I have between, I'd say, 88 and 110. We did on I Dream of Cameras, our podcast, we did a thing where I was supposed to get rid of half of the Rolleiflex part of the collection. And I agreed, and I went through all the thing, but thank you, and absolutely never put them up for sale. Look at me with your D700. I went home and I was like...
All right, Henry.
I'm Henry Tyrion. I've got a Hasselblad 500CM, which is mislabeled as a 500C. Sort of a quirk about it. With a 82.8.
Solid.
Got some black and white loaded up.
Rafael Hernandez, and I brought the Leica M10 monochrome that I just got back from Leica yesterday from a CLA, and I'm so excited to use it. This is the only camera I brought, by the way, because I want to use it that bad.
Unlike me, who brought, I do not know how many cameras, but a lot of cameras. I'm a known quantity.
My name is Jason. I run the channel Grainy Days, and I have an MDA around my neck.
Hi, I'm Ben Yee. I run 35M Pro. This is the space here.
That's where we're at.
The spot.
I have with me a Nikon FM2.
Last one.
Victoria. I am really obsessed with tiny little cameras, which is why I brought this one. It's the Rolly 35. It's the early German version, zone focus, and fully manual.
It is so cute and so precious. I will say most of us here are film photographers. Am I right?
Yeah.
Is that a fair representation?
Yeah.
You can also use flash on digicams. So I wanted to do a little bit of both. And I wanted to bring Raph into the combo because he is a master of flash, teaches flash, knows everything about flash. So we're going to start with a hot pop quiz. These are questions from the audience. Okay, let's just start with basics. How do I approach ISO, shutter speed, and aperture when using a flash? I just don't get it.
Are we talking film or digital?
Ooh, how would you delineate that?
Well, okay. The easiest way that I think about this is aperture is the light on your subject, the shutter speed is the ambient light, and your ISO will affect both. So if I'm looking to make the background much darker than my subject and have them pop, I would go a lower ISO. And then if I want to even it out a little more, I would go a higher ISO. If I'm shooting in the middle of the day, though, I wouldn't do a higher ISO because you might not have small enough f-stop to accommodate that range.
It is interesting and complicated. And my advice is you have to pick up a camera and experiment. It's the only way to figure out what that ratio looks like.
Yep.
And mess up a bunch, and then you'll figure it out. I always start at ISO 400, f5.6, 1/25th of a second, see what my exposure is, and then adjust from there.
I keep my light pretty close to my subject, so I typically start at about f8 or 11. So that's the other thing, depending on
That's
how
true.
close your light source is to your subject, you might have to...
And the intensity of your light source.
Exactly.
Yes, it's a flash or constant. Exactly.
It's a complicated subject.
It's a whole
We'll be here all day.
You gotta start somewhere.
What's your favorite way to make flash photography feel more natural / pleasing to the eye? Do not like the hard point and shoot flash style. I'm gonna go with modifiers.
I think a diffusion would definitely help to even out the tones of the light.
I want to know Caleb's point of view on this.
Well, I'm the opposite of whatever the person said. Very much like the light's in your face for a reason. You're going to take it. But I can see the modifiers or, depending on the type of flash unit you're using, there's a lot of like, if you angle it and then do the bounce card thing, that would also help.
So like diffusion, umbrellas,
Bounce. You could swivel the head.
angle, power. Getting it off the camera in general is always... I like that hard flash look is intended to look like it's on the camera,
Right.
Yeah.
and it's close, so it's very hard.
Also using multiple lights as well can also help fill in.
And opposite, how do you achieve the point and shoot flash style? On camera, close to your subject, hard flash.
Full frontal blasting.
Yeah,
Kind of
pretty
close to the lens because then you get that harsh shadow.
exactly.
Awesome. Yeah. And then close to like a wall or something in the background because then you get that other.
Yeah, and that mount. Shout out Lucy Lemon because that's very much your vibe. Whoa, whoa.
No, my tip, Topo Bolo.
How to use colored gels for mood?
Oh, right. That's
Henry.
How do you use them?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it depends on the mood, of course. And I mean,
Color theory.
this sounds mean, maybe, but it's pretty straightforward. I feel like you kind of just you put them over your light. Maybe they're talking about how they clip it on top, or maybe there's like how do you maybe slide them?
Are we talking about gels for like CTO or CTB? Are we talking about color flash?
It's really good question. This is a really good question.
I'm sorry, I didn't clear the question here.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Okay. If you're using tungsten lights or something but this is flash, so for flash.
No, but it's true to say that you could gel your flash to match the ambient light, right? So like if you have a CTO because you're in a tungsten environment, right? So you're matching that. But if you're in a fluorescent environment, you might want a green filter.
Yeah.
Something very similar to filters on cameras, right?
Yeah. You've kind of just said it, really. I mean,
well done.
Yeah. Like if you're really fancy, you have like a color spectrometer or whatever, and you can actually geek out and really match
You're a
color.
photographer.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like that's probably more what they were actually asking is how to balance color
To the
temperature.
environment, which makes a lot of sense.
So yeah.
Or you can use that to contrast, right? Where like you have a blue hour and you want to go with the warm flash to give it a mood.
If it's in light, you want to go with blue, like half blue, full blue, and reverse for like daylight temperature stuff. Go CTO.
Yes. I will insert some B-roll of like gels that I just use, like I just get off the shelf cellophane or whatever and just cut it to my flash and literally zip tie it or Velcro it, and it works great.
This person did say for mood, and I say have at it, have fun, experiment.
Great. It is a red filter though. Compensate by 2 steps.
That is a great point.
In which direction? You need to give it more light.
Over.
Because the red is pretty hardcore. Or purple, that's also like a 1.5 stopper. Or blue is 1.5 stopper. Orange?
Orange is okay.
2/3.
Quarter. 1/3.
2/3.
So,
Question.
Yeah.
That's all those pictures, like kind of like Linus and his camera photos where like everything is like colored.
Oh, yeah.
Is that in flash or is he using like colored?
Probably using constant light and and projector. I know he uses one. Definitely projector. If you are going to use flash with colored gels on a backdrop because you want a colorful backdrop, don't do it on white. It doesn't read. It overexposes a little because it's bouncing too much and it kind of washes it out is what I was looking for. But if you use something like this color, the tan or gray, spot on. Yeah, that's the stuff.
Do you buy new or second hand? I don't actually know how long bulbs and flashes last.
I usually buy secondhand.
Me too.
I really never even thought of that. I never thought about how long do these bulbs last.
So the weirdest thing, I never thought about, and I buy so many used flashes because you can get them for like $30.
Also, like I've never broken the flash.
If we're gonna talk like old school Pressman, like 4x5 cameras that had a one pump. So yeah, used. I feel like everybody's universal used.
I buy new. Okay, but well, because I use it for work. I want something reliable. But the thing is, I've never replaced a bulb before.
I guess if you're trying to buy maybe a new TTL, maybe you might want to buy a new one. I mean, 'cause
I use TTL on all the I mean, I have like a contacts flash back there that works great with my G1 and no issues TTL.
Rafa also buys a new Leica every year. So.
There's a lot of mood questions. How do you use flash at night to create mood? Which that's interesting because you can kind of do day for night too, which we didn't really talk about with a leaf shutter camera.
Yes.
Let's
High
talk
speed
about
sync.
that.
So, high-speed sync with a leaf shutter or a focal plane shutter that has a corresponding transmitter for your brand.
Yeah.
Which I brought. So we can test this out later. But nighttime flash, because that was the original question, just looks fucking awesome. Try to get a flash that has the wheel on the back so that you know what your exposure is, and play around with longer shutter speeds so that you can kind of drag it around a little bit and get some of that motion going in the background. Or, you max out your sync speed with whatever camera you have, and then you can make the background darker. And
Right, because your ambient light is killed just by the nature of it being dark.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I love the idea of, I do think mood is really enhanced by playing with shutter speeds. So I love that. Okay. Have you tried using gels for black and white photos? I've heard color filters for black and white on lenses, but does it make a difference in black and white when you gel a flash?
I never gelled a flash, but I've used hot lights that
In color.
on black and white film that like you can tell it's kind of flatter because of the color temperature. But
I never thought about that question, actually.
yeah,
I've seen it on filters on the actual lens.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. Is like in black and white, you can use a red filter, an orange filter to change the skin tones or the greens or whatever, the blues.
I'm sure it'll do it.
I'm sure it'll be the
Imagine.
that.
Yeah.
Never tried.
Try it. How would you get a Mamiya to work with a flash at night in a street setting? Is this where we shame Jason?
But what Mamiya?
I mean, that's the thing.
I'm assuming the 7 if you're shooting street.
It's just at night.
How are you going to shoot street with like an RC though? That's
I did.
what? Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
They're heavy. You can do it though.
I've seen people bring it.
Very awkward. Let me just tell you.
Yeah.
People yelled at me.
My wrist gets a little weird. It's like you're holding it.
I had a pistol grip.
Oh, see, I should have had one of those.
That was pretty amazing. Okay, what would you say, I'm going to have everybody answer this. What would you say your biggest challenge with flash photography is, Gabe?
My challenge was shooting in a studio and trying to get a pure white background. That, to me, I thought would be much easier. And adjusting the distance from the subject and adjusting, and then lighting the back and just trying to get that pure, because that's what magazines want now.
Yeah.
It's that white.
Totally.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that is to do it in camera properly is tough.
On film or digital? It was on digital.
Henry, what would you say?
Probably daytime exteriors, like portraits, and making still flash look natural. In filmmaking, you're working with hot lights,
Right.
some lights, which it's a similar way of thinking, but also sort of different. So it has been a learning curve to try to balance that to look not like flash.
For me currently, it's getting my strobe to work properly with my Canon G1 because I want to go full manual, but then I can't get it to go off. So I set it to auto, then it goes off, but I have no control, and it's a whole thing.
That's interesting.
But that's where that's kind of my biggest challenge currently.
Caleb.
You're just giving yourself.
Oh, okay. My biggest. So, I mean, I'm just a master of flash. No, I'm kidding.
And that's why you're no challenges.
I'm totally kidding. No, I don't use flash very much, actually. And so for me, it's just purely experimental and fun. And when I mess up, it's actually a good thing because I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, that's interesting. I would say my biggest challenge is trying to be consistent with flash, probably to get a consistent look.
That's good. It's a good one. Solid. I don't have anything. I don't know. I think
it's flash.
I do. I mean, anytime I'm like going into buildings that doesn't have a lot of light, I use flash, which is really nice. But the flash that I use, the problem I have, I guess, the flash that I use doesn't always like to go off. So that's a problem.
Is it moody or is it just like...
Yeah. I think that's when they're asking about mood. That's what they're talking about. Yeah. That wasn't, it's not like, oh, how do I create mood? It's like, no, you got a moody flash. Yeah. No, so I think that's about it. So I'm perfect. I don't know what to say.
I think my challenge is also similar to Henry's. It's the fact that like it's easy to get that like bright contrasty look, and I kind of want to soften it, but I don't want that kind of like complete diffused look, but just a little bit, just a little, just a little, because it's like if you're shooting like let's say an event and you're shooting flash, you don't want it to be like obviously that it was flash.
That's a really good point. And someone did ask about that, and we're going to come back. We're just going to finish with you. So give us your flash challenge, and then I'll go to the next question, which is very much on that point.
Well, flash challenge for me is like, I don't use it really. I'm kind of like Allie. I like really just like natural light, playing with it, shadows and things like that. But clearly, like I'm here because I like want to learn.
Someone did ask, how do I get a natural look for events with flash photography?
What's natural though?
Well, like I guess a soft, like doesn't feel like a pop.
Or does it have to have too much of like that the separation? But there is a separation, but just not as drastic.
Well, it's not direct, right?
Yeah.
So this isn't a sponsored ad or anything, but this dude Gary Fong makes this Tupperware that goes on top of your flash, and I still swear by it.
Still make that?
Yeah,
The lampshade.
it looks they're like home good. So every time I'm at an event, this is what I use, and it softens everything. It looks beautiful. But everybody goes, "Oh, hey, what's that thing over there?" I'm like, "Oh, this is your leftovers when the wedding's done or something." And I always make that joke.
That's a good joke.
Because it looks really awkward, but it works so well that.
So you use the hard plastic one, not like the soft sock.
Yeah, no, yeah,
Not the magnetic.
no.
You know,
Although I hear those are good,
Yeah, they're great
they're small.
until you knock into someone.
I have to be careful about the same thing because the top has come off on mine,
Right.
and I should just gaff tape it, but
Right.
Has anyone used that like bulbous Profoto flash?
I've used the copy of it.
Okay. I like a copy.
No, actually, I lied. I have used the Profoto one. It's awesome. Oh my God. I just blocked that out of my head because I didn't want to buy one.
Yeah, it's expensive.
You could buy it used.
Still? Yeah.
Best settings for in-camera flash? I mean,
Auto.
auto.
I love auto.
I'm with you.
I mean, yeah. I'm not ashamed to say I use auto.
No question, just a comment that I love the whine and wearing sound from a pop-up flash as it charges again.
Oh, yeah.
It's very ASMR.
I'm curious if like photographers, if that's their, you know how like some people like the TV static sound, and for like photographers, it's like
You go for that.
yeah.
Hey, it's the shutter button.
Yeah. The Hasselblad shutter or the Pentax 6.7 shutter.
That's it. You know, that Nikon D700, wait till you hear the shutter on it. It's pretty sweet. All right, that concludes our questions. So I think we should do some shooting.
We are setting up 2 lights for the backdrop so we can get even light across that. And then we're going to use this large light source here for our subject. And so what I'm going to do is, a good place to start is to set up 2 lights. If you're working with 3 lights, you set up 2 at equal distances from each other at a very similar angle. So the output power is 6.7? 6.7? Okay. So I have this one too. 6.7. So what we want to do is make sure that the output on both of these is the same. Okay, so what I'm going to do, actually, let's bring it down to 4.5. Because what I'm going to want to do is this main light is going to be more powerful than these 2 back ones, so that there's separation between the background and the subject. Whichever direction your light is facing, make sure the tallest leg of your C-stand is facing the same direction, and sandbag it. Because if I want to angle anything and it's going to want to lean forward, it's not going anywhere. Safety, always, always. Luckily, nobody's going to be crossing this way, but if somebody will be crossing this way, gaff tape. So nobody trips on cables and brings down light on the talent, because that would be terrible. We should meter. So we're going to set this up to get an idea of where our subject is going to be, which I'm imagining here. So the reason why I'm setting somebody up here and not way back here is because you want the distance so that this light won't affect the backdrop as much as these will. So these are particularly set up for this. And what I'm also going to do is set up this light so that it's aiming down more and it doesn't spill as much onto the backdrop. The other thing we could do here is to avoid those highlights like on the edge, what I like to do is turn the light away a little bit and kind of feather and just use the edge here. And that gives you a much softer light as well, because I know that was one of the questions. That helps too. Having 2 diffusers, amazing. And Victoria's gonna model for us. Thank you very much. So I'm gonna manually set my ISO to 160 and get my sync speed right there. Test button. F8. Perfect.